Crimson Trace announces Link, the world's first wireless laser and white light system, combining a green laser and 300 lumen light with instinctive activation for AR-type rifles. Link, smart, simple, secure. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, Tom's discussing the midterm election results with Sheriff David Clarke. Plus, honor military members on this Veterans Day by joining Brownells with their hashtag Operation 100K fundraiser and more. And as always, call in to 866-TALK-GUN. That's Tom Talk Gun with your comments, questions, and range reports. And now, the star of our show, here's Tom Gresham.
Special day, very special day. So glad that you could be with us. Tom Gresham here. It's Gun Talk, where we're talking about all sorts of things today. Obviously, it's Veterans Day. And let's just go ahead and open this up. If you have a story that you'd like to tell about a veteran, if you are a veteran, we'll talk about your dad, maybe your mom, granddad. We'll take those calls. We can do that. We can honor our veterans here. Also, of course, range reports are always welcome. There's so many things for me to talk about. We have the election results are almost in. Not quite. It's goofy. It's odd. It's strange what's going on. Arizona and Florida. Again, here we go. Still counting, recounting. We're going to recount this until the Democrats are happy. It's basically what's going to come about on this deal. Distrust is high. The level of distrust is certainly high. The Democrats announced immediately after it was, of course, obvious that they're retaking control of the House. Gun control will be one of their first things they want to do. No surprise. If you look at Initiative 1639 in Washington State, you'll see the list of what they want to do. Expanded background checks, of course, which means no private sales. That's what that means, is every firearm transfer would have to go through a licensed gun dealer, would have to have a NICS background check. Couldn't give a gun to your son or daughter. Couldn't loan a gun to your neighbor for the weekend. The way the laws are written in a lot of states, that would actually be a crime. And then when your neighbor gives it back to you, that would be another crime. You'd be a repeat offender. No, I'm not making this up. That's what the expanded, comprehensive, so-called universal background checks are really all about. They're really all about getting rid of private transfer of firearms. Let's see. Raising the age to buy a gun to 21. That's one of their wish list items. You can forget the Hearing Protection Act and national reciprocity for concealed carry. That's not happening. That was gone. And unfortunately, the Republicans had a chance to do something about it and didn't. They backed away. They were frightened or scared. Here's my big worry. And I throw this out for your consideration and your comment. The Democrats will come roaring in with a huge laundry list of gun ban efforts, gun control efforts, all designed to move them closer to their gun ban utopia, their gun-free utopia. And they will rush in with this huge laundry list, and a number of them will be completely untenable, unsupportable. And the foolish Republicans will say, well, we will compromise with you. How about if we agree to like 3 of your 9 demands? Thus giving them more gun control. Thus giving them more restrictions on your Second Amendment rights. Thus, once again, caving. And yes, I know, they're better than the Democrats, the Republicans are, but they're not that good, is the reality of it. And they only grow a spine when they get frightened. And so I guess I'm just putting this out for your consideration and your comment. It's going to be up to us to provide the spine for the Republicans to say, no. Yes, I know you're going to throw out a dozen things and you say, well, let's compromise on some of them. And the counter to that is, okay, and we want national reciprocity and the Hearing Protection Act and we will compromise with you, and we'll only take half of what we want. That's our compromise position. Oh. Yeah, and no gun-free zones. Yeah, that too. A lot of things in the news. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. Let me throw out a couple of these for your consideration. 2 stories out of the news this week. This pretty much covers it. And I came up with a slogan, a saying, an ethos, words to live by that I will add to this at the end because I think it's important for everybody. 2 stories in the news. 2 similar stories. 2 stories who are diametrically opposed, which are diametrically opposed. Out of Kansas City, Missouri, Tabitha Birdsong was found dead from obvious head injuries near a Kansas City, Missouri park Tuesday morning. Detectives found an order of protection in her back pocket, according to court documents. The order was against her husband, Gene Birdsong, who is now facing charges in her murder. She was, it looks like, murdered by the man she had a protective order against. She was literally carrying the papers, the court documents, the protection order on her when she was murdered. The phrase, not worth the paper it's written on, comes to mind. Now contrast that from Tuesday, and this story from actually is about a couple of weeks ago. Las Vegas woman kills ex-boyfriend in self-defense. A man who threatened his ex-girlfriend with her life early this morning in Northeast Valley Bar was killed when the woman shot him. The woman had an active restraining order against him, Homicide Lieutenant Ray Spencer said. She had a restraining order, protective order against him, but she also had a gun. She's alive. When Tabitha Birdsong is dead, she was depending upon a piece of paper. Okay, just a quick heads up. If you have daughters, if you have granddaughters, explain to them this. This is a simple thing, but they need to know this, and they need to hear it 100 times. If you are dating someone, if you are dating a man, and he starts to say, I don't want you to go out with your friends. I don't want you to hang out with your friends. If he starts to be controlling in any form or fashion, bail, eject, 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 get out. Because here's the deal. Okay, understand this, and this is something to really, really understand and pass along. When you are dating, the person is on his best behavior. Think about that. When you're dating someone, that's the best they're ever going to be. And if you're going, whoo, that's weird, that's concerning, I don't really like that, but, no, there's no but. That's as good as it's going to get. It's going to get worse. A controlling person is always going to be a controlling person, and it can get really, really bad. If you have a protection order, if you're a woman, you have a protection order, and you're afraid for your life, get a gun. I'm sorry, there it is. Oh, well, Tom, that's not really for everybody. Give me a break. Nothing else is going to stop them. The police won't be there in time. They're not. They're not going to be there in time. They're going to try, but they won't get there. They almost never arrive in time. If you don't believe it, ask any police officer you know. They're going to say, yeah, we're not going to be there. We're going to get called after it's all over. Or maybe while it's going down, but we're not going to get there in time. Generally speaking. If you have a friend who has a protection order against somebody, talk to her. Get her some training. Get her a gun. Get serious. Understand. Take control. Get them out of town. Get them out of the state. Do what you got to do. Save a life. It's all about saving a life. It's all about being safe. It's all about increasing our safety level. So here's my takeaway. Because we had the shooting in the bar. 12 people murdered. Nobody had a gun. No one had a gun, really. They had a 3-minute response time from the cops. That's great. How many people can you kill in 3 minutes? A lot. But the guy killed himself. Why did he kill himself? Because the good guys with the guns showed up. That's generally what happens. So what we really want, when you think about it, it's simply a math problem. What you want is for the good guys to show up more quickly, right? That would be good. What if the good guys are already there? What if the good guy with a gun, good gal with a gun is already there? Pulls out a gun, shoots him, shoots the SOB, smokes him, makes him return to ambient temperature, gives him the big dirt nap. He stops killing people. He stops killing people. So here's the deal. Because I hear people say, well, you know, I carry sometimes, but I don't carry all the time. You know, when I'm going to certain parts of town, I carry. Really? So you're clairvoyant. You know when the attack's going to come. You know when you're going to need protection. Really? No, you don't. Come on. So here's the deal. Here's your line. If you carry anywhere, you should carry everywhere. I know the realities. There are places where you can't. But as a way of thinking about it, as an ethos for your life, if you carry anywhere, you should carry everywhere, because you may be somewhere where you need it. You may be somewhere where someone else needs you to help. You don't want that to be the day you said, you know, it's heavy, it's hot, I don't want to, it's uncomfortable, I'd have to wear a cover garment, yada, 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 give me an effing break. You took on the responsibility to be the right person, the good guy, the good gal, the one that helps yourself, the one that takes care of your family, the one that helps other people. That's a full-time job. That's a full-time commitment. If you carry anywhere, you should carry everywhere. 866-TALK-GUN is the magic number here, or just Tom Talk Gun will get you in. Talking about hunting, I have some stories to tell you about my hunt a couple of weeks ago. And we will continue the conversation about the elections. Your takeaway, what are people saying and what are you thinking? And kind of really, what do we need to do to protect the Second Amendment and our gun rights? 866-TALK-GUN.
Pure accuracy. That's what a great rifle is all about. That's the Mossberg MVP Precision Rifle. The MVP Precision has it all. A bolt action that accepts AR-style magazines, sub-MOA accuracy, aluminum chassis system with slim profile handguard, Mossberg's lightning bolt action trigger system, chambered for the 6.5 Creedmoor, 224 Valkyrie, 308 and 223. Available in 24 and 26-inch threaded barrels. For your long-range precision needs, it's the MVP Precision. Mossberg.com. That's Mossberg.com.
Laser sights increase confidence, regardless of experience level. Whether you're learning the fundamentals, a seasoned shooter, or simply overcoming aging eyes, laser sights provide instant feedback, providing immediate confidence and enjoyment for a new shooter. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
When the U.S. military's elite units and law enforcement agencies across the globe demanded innovation and reliability, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. When world champion professional shooters demanded precision accuracy, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. So it's no surprise more and more civilian gun owners are refusing to settle for anything less. They're choosing Sig Sauer firearms, ammunition, electro-optics, suppressors, air guns, and training. Sig Sauer. Never settle.
All right, back with you, Tom Gresham. Let's see. We're trying to get the technology working here. Glad that we're all together. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Let's go straight to the phones. Line 3, Jim's with us out of Waco, Texas. Hey, Jim, you're on Gun Talk.
Hi, Tom. Hey, I think for me the scariest part of this last week or so on the election is what happened in Maryland. You got an innocent man killed because of these red flag laws, and I'm really afraid that that's going to be the one that the Republicans cave on and quote, compromise, because it sounds so reasonable no matter how evil it is.
Yeah, let me tell people what you're talking about here. Just fill in the blanks here. In Anne Arundel, Maryland, police say officers fatally shot an armed man while serving protective orders to remove his guns. Somebody in his family made a call, said, you got to go take care of Uncle so-and-so. When the police came to the house, there was a woman there who identified herself as his niece. She attributed the visit by police to, quote, family being family, but declined to elaborate. In other words, did they just not like the guy? The police show up at 5 o'clock in the morning, banging on the door. He goes to the door with a gun in his hand, a natural reaction. He puts it down, he picks it back up, and a fight ensues. Gun goes off, and the police just kill him. They're there to confiscate his guns. And what, Jim, what you're talking about is what they call red flag law. And you're right. It sounds warm and comfortable, like a big old warm fuzzy blanket. Why would you want somebody who is disturbed to have a gun? So now anybody who lives in the house, who's a relative, who's a friend, who's a clergy member, who's an educator, can call the police and have someone's guns taken away. No due process.
That's right. I have some unhinged liberals in my extended family. They hate it that I shoot so much, and I take my kids to shoot. Thankfully I live in Texas, but how long is that going to hold out? I think that because it sounds so reasonable, that's a real risk that these Republicans cave on it.
I think you're correct in your concern that it's an area where they would cave. In state after state, they're passing these laws. The legislatures cave. And what's happened is the Bloomberg group, they go into every state legislature and they find a legislator who will introduce this bill. And it's been introduced in, I'm sure, well more than half the states already. Probably 3/4 of the states. And it may have been turned down, but they come back each year. And they're very good at it. And as you say, they couch it with, well, why would you want somebody who's crazy, to have a gun? Don't you people say you're the responsible gun owners? You don't want the irresponsible gun owners to have guns, not understanding that it means the police are going to come with guns to take away guns. And what is the logical consequence of that? It's going to be just like in Anne Arundel, Maryland. Somebody's going to get killed, and it's not going to be the cops, generally speaking.
Right, and that man broke no laws. And he wasn't even accused of breaking any laws.
Nope. No, he got upset that the police were there banging on his door at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, yeah. And, he's holding his gun. They come and try to take it away from him, physically try to take it away from him. And his gun goes off, and so a policeman just pulls a gun and kills him.
That's murder.
Don't know if it's murder, because murder is a legal term, but it certainly is an unwarranted killing because it was based on an unwarranted visit. And this is happening in New York all the time. Police are coming and banging on doors. We're here to take your guns. Now, here's the thing that people need to understand. One of the key parts of this is you have to have a state where guns are registered. That way they know what you have. And they could come with a list and say, here's all the guns you have. We're here to pick them all up. There's no such thing as federal gun registration. But in a lot of states, you have that. This is going to be, I think, one of our calls to action, Jim, where we're all going to have to get involved in your state level and make sure we push back on all of this. I appreciate the call, and thank you for letting me make the point on that. I had that story ready to talk about already. Line 2, Matthew's in Louisiana. Hey, Matthew, the election, what you think?
I'm thinking that, the people of Florida, Georgia, Arizona, they did what they had to do. They did their duty. And they're watching their votes be whittled away by phantom mystery votes, just be disappeared into the ether. And the only question I have to ask is if people no longer feel as though voting makes a difference to affect the change or to keep the things the way they believe that they should be kept, what is going to be the next option?
Well, sure. I understand exactly where you're going. And let me throw this out. Look, I appreciate the call. The next action is what we've been seeing. If you think that voting is not legitimate, that your vote doesn't count, that there's corruption there, people will take to the streets. Or you could do like what the Democrats have been doing for the last 40 years, which is they said, we don't really care which way people vote, one way or the other, because we've got a stopgap. We have the Supreme Court. So you guys vote any way you want to. You can pass whatever laws you want to, but we're going to use the Supreme Court as our legislative body, and they have been effectively doing that for 40-plus years. And that's one of the reasons they're losing their minds right now, because they have lost the Supreme Court. And because of losing the Supreme Court, now they realize, oh my God, now we're back to the rule of law. Whatever will we do? Well, people will actually be able to vote on laws, and we won't be able to overturn them with our activist judges and justices. It's the reason that they've just gone nuts. It's the reason for the Kavanaugh debacle. It's why they were so crazy and so willing to lie, cheat, steal, to make up stories, to accuse him of horrible things. Now they're admitting, yeah, well, we made it up. Yeah, it's okay, we made it up, but, it was worth a shot. Expect more of it. Expect more of it. It's going to be a lot of this stuff is going to be going on. But, yeah, what happens when people believe that the voting system, the election system is illegitimate, is not working? They'll take to the streets. They'll take to the courts. They may take up arms. In the history of the world, that has been what has happened. 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, we're going to be talking with one of America's most famous sheriffs about the election, about self-defense, about what you need to be doing on both issues. Be right back.
Good morning, Mr. Gresham. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to host a radio show that will bring truth and common sense to the discussion of firearms rights in this country. Good luck, Tom, to you and your Tom Gresham's Gun Talk team.
Occasionally people just pop up when you're thinking, where do you come from? And then they start talking, you go, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And as a result, people start listening and following and paying attention, and you start to know who they are. And that certainly is the case for our next guest. Sheriff David Clarke, been reelected 3 times to sheriff, and now not a sheriff, former sheriff, but still a political figure. I welcome you again. David, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. An honorable Veterans Day to everybody who served in the military, including my father, who fought in Korea. And just one correction, elected 4 times as sheriff of Milwaukee County, the longest serving sheriff in Milwaukee County history, and I'm proud of that.
Thank you. I appreciate the correction. One of the things that happened, it was interesting, it's kind of like people say, well, where do you come from? Well, where you came from was that you started speaking truth to power, and you started saying things that people went, well, that just makes a lot of sense. And sometimes you just have to say things that just make sense regardless of people's bias or how they think, how they think you should talk. I think that's one of your strengths, is your willingness to just say what needs to be said.
Yeah, there's a couple things there. First of all, I've always been a free thinker. I think for myself. Nobody told me, hands me talking points and says, here's what you have to believe. You're a black conservative, or you're a black guy. You got to believe this. You got to think that. You got to vote that way. My parents didn't raise me that way. They said, son, think for yourself. And don't let somebody else's views about you, even, how negative they may be, become how you think about yourself. So, I've been in law enforcement for nearly 40 years, retired last year. A great career, proud service to my community that I was born and raised in. But one of the things that I never forgot is when I became the elected sheriff, even when I entered into law enforcement, you take an oath. And I put my hand on a Bible. I'm old school. I swear on the Bible. And I said I would uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin and its laws. Those weren't just words on paper to me. I meant it. And that includes the Second Amendment. I don't care how distasteful some people may find it. It's part of our Constitution. If we want to change it, there's a process within the Constitution through a convention of states, as an example. But we don't do it through the courts. We don't do it through local municipalities enacting laws that violate the Second Amendment. And then there's the aspect of the black tradition of arms. It was the firearm that truly made the slaves free. The 13th Amendment, freedom on paper. The 14th Amendment said the Constitution applies to the newly freed slaves. And that meant the Second Amendment. It was only through the possession of firearms, which was prohibited of slaves and even of the newly freed slaves. That's the only way they could guard against mob lynchings, attacks, kidnapping, so on and so forth. Self-defense, the first rule of nature.
Now David, Sheriff, you know that there are people who are saying, oh, that never happened. The blacks never used guns for self-defense. That's just a myth of the right. Are they just doomed by not knowing history?
Yeah, they don't know their history. They were separated from their history. Look, I studied this stuff. I'm a fan of history. There are several books out on this black tradition of arms. And so I took the time to learn about it and learn what my forefathers fought for, died for, shed blood for, so that future generations could enjoy that sort of liberty and freedom. And that's why, I'm doing an honorable service, I think, to their service and their deaths and their hardships and what they did. So, we're up against a lot of myths and propaganda with the gun movement. You know that. Your listeners know that. Oh, man.
No kid. Before we move off of it, I wanted to throw out for people, if they want to find out more about blacks in America using guns for self-defense, look up Deacons for Defense and Justice. That came right out of the Civil Rights Movement. And it was, blacks using guns and arming themselves because, listen, I was there in the bad old days in the South. And I understand. So it was a good move. It was a smart move, and it actually helped keep people alive. But let me ask you a question here. Now, one of the things I want you to weigh in on is something that happened actually this morning. President Trump is in France, and the president of France starts to take him on in a speech, and he's saying basically that nationalism is the opposite of patriotism. And he goes off on this whole globalism deal and bad-mouthing the idea of protecting your own country, supporting your country, holding up your country, fighting for your country, in essence saying that nationalism is a bad thing. I will also offer that President Trump did not take the bait. He was classy. He simply talked about veterans and our role in World War I. It was a smooth move. I thought he did great. But your reaction to this idea of somehow nationalism is bad?
Well, first of all, the president of France is a wimp. He took a cheap political shot at the leader of the free world, President Donald Trump. Look, like you said, the president handled this properly. This guy from France politicized this moment, this solemn moment, honoring the World War I veterans. And I thought it was classy. And I thought, the president knows, I'll get you back. I'll get you, pal. He knows he will. He'll bide his time at a more appropriate time.
Yes.
What does France know about winning wars, for instance? So, kudos to the president. Well, you know what? The president could have said these things, but, there'll be a time and a place.
A time and a place.
Trust this president to understand that this is chess and not checkers and to make the right moves at the appropriate times.
Hey, Sheriff, can I get you a hold just a second? When I come back, I want to talk a bit about this Super PAC, America First, and basically kind of our role, all of our roles in where we go from here as a country. We're talking with Sheriff David Clarke, and I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk. Be right back.
Want your next gun purchase to be fast and hassle-free? Well, at galleryofguns.com, you can search through thousands of models from our huge firearms inventory. Find a great offer from a local dealer that includes all fees and taxes. And there's no need to arrange a transfer. Gallery of Guns takes a small deposit on your credit card, and your gun will be at your chosen dealer in as little as 48 hours. Plus, your gun will be covered by our guaranteed lifetime replacement warranty. Galleryofguns.com. Search, find, buy. It really is just that easy.
Before computers, before engines and automobiles and roads, before all of this, there was the land, a great ocean of land with mountains black as night, standing guard over all that is and was and forever will be. This is the Black Hills of South Dakota.
the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth.
Visit black-hills.com for more information.
Want great deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gundealio app today. With Gundealio, you can search for deals, listen to the Gun Talk podcast, watch gun videos, read gun news, and get notifications right to your phone about deals and special offers. Save money on the products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gundealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
The pistol that redefined pocket carry just got even better. The Ruger LCP-2 has improved sights, an easy-to-rack slide, a larger textured grip surface for a secure grip and recoil reduction, and a short, crisp, single-action trigger pull for real-world accuracy. It's so small and light that there's no reason to ever leave home without your LCP-2. A serious pistol in a pint-sized package. Learn more about the LCP-2 at Ruger.com.
All right, welcome back. We're talking with former Sheriff David Clarke, Senior, and it's Veterans Day. We're talking about that, but it's kind of it's the aftermath of our elections, and we just saw the House change hands. It'll be in Democrat control. They've announced part of their agenda, of course, gun control being a large part of it, but a whole lot of other things that are the antipathy, if you will, the opposite of what a lot of Americans want. And Sheriff, I see that you are connected with the America First Super PAC. What is that?
That is the official Trump PAC. It was started by members of the Trump family, and I've been taken on as a senior advisor and a spokesman to travel the country promoting the president's vision to make America great again, rallying the base, energizing the base, and talking to mainly conservative GOP groups, lovers of the Second Amendment, lovers of the Constitution. And it's my new mission now. As I said, I retired from sheriff a year ago summer to dedicate myself full-time to this. But the best way people can keep up with me and what I'm doing is at my own website, americassheriff.com. That's americassheriff.com. It's one-stop shopping. You can find out all my tweets are on there. My Facebook, I'm very active on Twitter. You don't have to go to Twitter and try to remember my Facebook handle. Just go to my website, americassheriff.com. Everything I write, say, write about, I write for several blogs. Everything is right there at americassheriff.com.
Let me ask you a question. This may be like the most obvious question in the world, but when you came on the public scene, a decade or so or more ago, because, I mean, obviously you'd been in law enforcement for decades, but all of a sudden people started paying attention, and you're a registered Democrat, but you're a conservative, and you're saying things that are driving some of the liberal Democrats crazy. Do you get now, I know you did at the time, the pushback of how can you be black and be a conservative?
Yeah, I still get that. The hate is unbelievable from the left. Hey, I was parodied on Saturday Night Live last Saturday. That means I'm a big deal. I'm in pretty good company. They like to parody the President of the United States, Donald Trump, Kellyanne Conway, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and others.
And Dan Crenshaw, the Navy SEAL. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, they realize that my voice still resonates. I rally the base, and they're trying to use a tactic of poking fun at me, but it's not going to work. It never does. Like I said, I'm a free thinker, so I don't care what people think I'm supposed to do and hope that I do. I stand for something. I have core principles. I communicate those principles. I speak in plain language. I don't equivocate. I don't try to use big words and talk over people's heads, and it's driving the left nuts.
It just occurred to me when you're talking who you remind me of. I mean, you're like, brothers from different mothers or something, you and Ted Nugent. I swear. You guys, you just get out there and you say what needs to be said. You just don't care what the reaction is going to be. I love that.
Yeah, Ted's a friend. I've met him several times, got to talk to him. Great American. You're right. No fear. I operate from that premise. Be not afraid. Look, people better than me, bigger than me, and different generations, past generations fought, died, shed blood to protect liberty and freedom, and then they hand that off to the next generation. It's our generation's turn to protect this great experiment, if you will, in self-rule. Because if you don't protect it, it'll be taken away, and that's what the left's trying to do to us right now.
You take your oath seriously, and people say, well, you took your oath, but you're not in office anymore. But once you take the oath, it's there for life, isn't it?
Oh, you got that right. Look, I was awarded one of my most honorable awards is by the Oath Keepers, and that's about taking an oath and keeping it. Look, every American takes an oath. It's called the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States, the Pledge of Allegiance. You take that oath, you pledge allegiance to the United States, you put your hand over your heart, whatever you salute. That's an oath. So this has nothing to do with just being an office holder. You're not suggesting that, but I remind Americans, you took an oath too. Every time you said the Pledge of Allegiance, you took an oath. That should mean something.
It's so interesting you say that, because just this morning I was thinking, I wonder, when I grew up in schools, public schools, we said the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. That's how we started every morning. I don't know that that's being done now, and I'm wondering how many children are being raised to say and to know the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, that's been decimated by the left. That's how they've gone about it. Get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance. Don't stand for the national anthem. The flag stands for racism. The Constitution was made up by racist founding fathers. It's all nonsense, okay? But you're right. They've done it through the schools. I was the same way. Every day started out standing at attention at the side of your desk. The teacher would say, stand up. We did it. Nobody sat down. We put our hand over our hearts and said the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States. It endeared us to America and to this like I said, this experiment on self-rule. But you're right. The kids today, they don't know their history. They're not being taught history. They don't say the Pledge of Allegiance. They don't pray in schools. None of this stuff is happening. This generation of lefties today, this Antifa and these anarchists and these far-left wackos, this is a generation of not growing up saying the Pledge of Allegiance every day in school.
Yeah, and I would pass along, if you're a parent or a grandparent, you can take on that responsibility of offering the Pledge of Allegiance. You can have a flag in your home, and you could do that, do everything you need to do. Sheriff, let me know, tell me, what are you up to now, and where are you going from here? Where can we be seeing you? I know we can check your website. It's America's Sheriff?
AmericasSheriff.com. Yeah, that's the best place. Everything that I do publicly, that I say or speak or write about, Newsmax TV covers me a lot. It'll all be there. But my new mission right now is fighting for freedom and liberty. I wanted to dedicate myself full-time to it. Look, I've worked hard, as did many Americans, to elect Donald Trump the 45th President of the United States. When I saw that he was under siege like he was from this resistance movement, I knew I had to work just as hard to help him stay here, and that I needed to do it full-time. So I had a great career, nearly 40 years in law enforcement. I said, it's time to move on. It's a new mission, so that's what I'm doing now. Every single day, fighting for this country, fighting for the President of the United States.
Well, we appreciate it, and I appreciate you being here, and we'll keep tabs with you. I just went to the website. It's a great website, AmericasSheriff.com. You can check up on what Sheriff David Clarke's up to. Sheriff, thank you so much.
My pleasure. God bless you.
All right, you take care. That's a man who understands what the oath is about. An awful lot of veterans do. Saw something this morning, Veterans Day, that got my attention. It said a veteran, somebody who wrote a blank check to the United States of America, could be cashed up to and including anything I have, including my life. Blank check. Interesting way of looking at it. I had a chance in the airport yesterday. Saw a gentleman wearing a Vietnam veteran's hat. I just went up to him and said, look, this Veterans Day weekend, I just want to thank you. And his eyes just lit up. I should do that more often. I don't want to harass people or bother them, but at the same time, I want them to know. So to all of our veterans, thank you. 866-TALK-GUN. We're open lines right now. Range reports are welcome, and your take on the election. Hey, coming up in just a few minutes, we'll be talking about an effort to raise some money for a number of veterans groups. That's going to be pretty interesting. I think you're going to be impressed with the effort that's going into that. In the meantime, of course, we're looking for your calls, comments, questions, 866-TALK-GUN. The midterm elections, not over yet. We're still counting, recounting. We're going to keep counting it till the Democrats are happy, I guess. Democrats taking over the House, pledging to push the gun ban agenda. People say, oh, yeah, nobody wants to take away your guns. Really? Yeah, that's why the police are coming to the doors and kicking in the doors and pounding on the doors and shooting people in Anne Arundel, Maryland. A protection order, or a gun confiscation order. The red flag laws. You know, where somebody in your family who doesn't like you can call the police and say, he's got guns, you should take him away. He's a danger to himself. He threatened me. He threatened himself. He says weird things. He watches Fox News. And the police show up at 5 o'clock in the morning as they did. And the guy, understandably, when people are banging on your door at 5 o'clock in the morning, you go to the door with a gun in your hand. The guy ended up dead. But nobody wants to take away your guns. We're just going to confiscate them. Right. Exactly. Now we have Democrats openly calling for confiscation of guns. We're not only going to ban the sale of them, we're going to require you to turn them in. That's called confiscation, in case nobody quite gets that. And well, no one wants to take away your guns. That's the Barack Obama line. No one wants to take away your guns. Really? No, actually they do. Some of them are actually brave enough to say it now. They're actually brave enough to try it now. See how that's going to work out. What are you going to do when they come banging on your door? I know what some people are going to do, and it's not going to be pretty. I guarantee you. It's going to be ugly. It's an interesting time. The gun ban agenda, they think they have wind in their sails. They think the Parkland shooting and all the Bloomberg money has given them wind in their sails. And to some extent, they're right. When we get outspent in Washington State on that initiative that just passed, that horrible initiative, anti-gun initiative, we spent roughly, we being the gun owner groups, roughly $700,000 to fight it. They spent $5.5 million. When you get outspent 8-1 roughly, you're going to lose. You can buy enough advertising to convince people that black is white, up is down, and that evil in the form of this initiative is good, that they call a gun safety measure. And when you get the media pushing behind it, then they can convince the public that it's good because they won't report anything else. The other information is available, they just won't put it on the air. And as a result, most people get their information from the media, and they think, well, yeah, everybody wants this. It sounds reasonable. Right? That's reasonable. Yeah, we shouldn't have 18-year-olds be able to buy guns. Really? No, yeah, you can go drive an Abrams tank. You can shoot a machine gun. You can be a United States Marine. But we wouldn't want you to be able to buy a semi-automatic firearm, a modern contemporary gun. By the way, what they want to ban, never make any mistake about this. They want to ban contemporary firearms. Because semi-automatics are contemporary guns, and they want to ban all of them, not just rifles, handguns as well, shotguns as well. They want to ban every semi-automatic firearm in the country. They want to stop the sale of them, stop the manufacture of them, and then confiscate them, pick them up. And now they're actually coming out and saying it. They're brave enough because they say, the wind's at our backs. We're good. We got the votes. And they may have the votes if we don't get our act together. And that's going to be part 2. Is what do we do from here? Where do we go from here? When we come back, let's talk about veterans groups and a way that you can get involved to help some of them. 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk.